Ever been in the grip of fear? That intense fear that feels completely overwhelming and consuming. Maybe it's woken you up 2 a.m., 3 a.m. You're worrying about your business. You don't know where the next client is coming from. You're terrified of running out of money, even though you know what to do, even though you know you're capable and you're good at what you do. That fear can feel absolutely crippling, right? And it can be made to feel worse because you've studied the law of attraction. You know about vibration, you know about frequency. And so when you are in the grip of fear, you can then start looping on around thoughts like, well, God, if I'm in this fear, then, oh my God, I need to stop because I'm going to attract more to feel fear about. And it just gets bigger and bigger and more consuming. So if this sounds familiar, maybe you're in the grip of fear right now. Well, if so, I want to share with you in this video 3 ways to immediately shift your state, to raise your frequency and reconnect to that powerful state of peace, even if your starting point right now is the grip of fear. So if you're ready to hear this, please hit the like button, take a breath, take a pause, a moment, and just type in the comments below, I am ready to relax and receive. I'm ready to relax and receive, and then just relax and receive this information, this transmission that I'm sharing with you today. So the business journey, we know, is the most intense personal growth trajectories available. They say, don't they? If you want to grow, become an entrepreneur, because the entrepreneurial journey, it's asking you to become the next level version of you consistently. Like, you've got to really get to know who you are, to shed those layers of identity that don't serve you in your highest purpose. And this is why this growth journey can feel really triggering. It can activate your deepest fears and insecurities and feel very conflicting. But the truth is, whenever you feel that fear, it's not a red flag. It's not a time to stop. In fact, I want to say it's the whole point, right? So let's talk about the 3 ways to reconnect to your peace and raise your frequency again. So the first thing here is not to demonize fear. Fear is actually a beautiful sign that you are growing. I know it's uncomfortable. It feels horrible, but it's a sign that what you're doing is growing. You're stepping outside of your comfort zone. You're stepping out into the unfamiliar. And the problem is that when we experience this intense emotion that we label as fear, we're stepping outside of familiar territory. We're stepping outside of our comfort zone and into uncertainty. And the mind can't stand uncertainty. You know, the ego cannot abide by uncertainty. And so what happens is we make the mistake of listening to the mind. And the mind starts telling us you're too much. You know, if you've been on a visibility streak, feeling proud of yourself, feeling great, feeling all like large and in charge, and you've been doing video for 2 weeks, suddenly you might get that grip of fear, and then the mind starts doing its clanging of cymbals inside your mind, inside your brain, telling you you're too much. It's not working. Nobody's interested. You're embarrassing yourself. Whatever that mind starts to say. And the problem is that we listen to it. We identify with it. It takes us over. But it's not a sign to withdraw. But that's what we do when we hear the monkey mind. We identify with those clanging cymbals. The classic that I want to really identify here is one thing that the mind will say, and it will trick us, because sometimes we'll say, well, this is my intuition. The mind will say, you need to pull back. Doesn't feel right. I almost cancelled an event because one night I woke up at 2 a.m. I'd launched this event. I woke up at 2 a.m. Nobody had bought a ticket yet. And I was in the intense grip of fear. And the old stories started to come up. People don't like you. It's a hostile world out there. People won't buy. You know, what if only one person buys, and they see you as a fraud because, who are you to tell people how to grow a business when you can only get one person to an event? So all of this was going on. And my mind, the classic, it doesn't feel right. Now that is the ego disguised as intuition, like coming in the side door with it doesn't feel right. But of course it won't feel right because it's unfamiliar. It's not supposed to feel right. You're doing something new. You're stepping out into uncertainty. You're breaking free from complacency or mediocre. So it's never going to feel right. Don't expect things to feel right. So when I recognized that voice and I was able to separate, which is what I'm going to talk about in the second bit, step 2, really, when I recognized what the mind was doing, I was able to kind of sort of recalibrate, calm the nervous system down, and I kept with the event. And we ended up having 10 beautiful souls on that event. It was a luxury premium experience. We went so deep. There was some real kind of breakthroughs on that day. And it was just a beautiful experience for everyone who was there. And I almost cancelled it because it didn't feel right. So don't expect things to feel right. Just allow yourself to feel what you feel. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. In fact, you've got to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable on this journey, right? So the second point here, to reconnect to your peace, to release the grip of fear, is understand that when we are in fear, the ego mind has a bias towards urgency and action taking, right? We're used to taking action because we want to get back into the saddle. We don't want to feel this unresourceful, disempowered state. We want to get back into control. And we get that sense of control when we start fixing things and taking action. But I want to say to you, don't act from that state. Any action you take from the state of fear will just reinforce the state. Now, it may bring you temporary relief. It may even bring you a temporary result, but the fear is just being suppressed. It's like a band-aid. The vibration of fear is still within you. You haven't changed fundamentally your identity. The fear is still residing within you. It will surface again in due course, but it's still driving the bus. It's still driving your behaviors. So when you're in fear, your body is in a stressed, hypervigilant state, which means it's unresourceful and it has that limited perspective. You're looking at the world through the lens of fear. So this step really is about understanding the importance of separating yourself from the fear, because the real you isn't scared. Now, how do I know that? How do I know the real you isn't scared? Because the real you can tell me how it feels to be scared. The real you can tell me what is going on in the mind. The real you is the one who sees, the witness consciousness, the one who can tell me what is going on in the body and the mind. So you can begin right now to separate yourself, the real you, from what is going on, this egoic identity of fear, by ceasing to identify with the fear and starting to observe it instead. So you do this by immediately dropping your attention, all of your awareness, into the body, and notice the sensations that are happening in the body when you're gripped by fear. Describe it. Describe it. What is the texture of this sensation? Is it moving or is it still? Is it throbbing or vibrating or fluttering? What is the temperature? Is it hot or is it making you feel chilled? As you do that, you put all of your focus and attention into the sensation. You start to separate. You become the observer. And as you do that, the mind ceases. The mental chatter stops because all of your attention is on the body. And as the mind stops identifying and looping and terrifying you and terrorizing you, you start to feel this peace emerge, because The dark energy of fear cannot survive under the light of your presence, under the light of witness consciousness. It will shift as you watch it. I've done this so many times. As you sit and you feel the contraction, and it can feel very uncomfortable. It is. It's supposed to. That sensation was created and locked in a very uncomfortable moment decades ago, often. But so it will be uncomfortable in its release. So the part of you that is the witness consciousness understands that and can actually hold that sensation and be the container to allow it to just carry on its journey, not suppress it, not try and push it down by doing something, or, trying to do positive affirmations and dumb it down. No, you've got to fully allow it to be fully felt. Feelings just want to be felt. Okay. So you can use all of the tools at your disposal. So as you allow this energy to move through, you'll notice it will change. And sometimes you can feel it moving. Sometimes I'll say, oh, it's now moving into my like right shoulder. I think left or right. My right shoulder. Oh, just kind of dissipates. It just leaves the body. You can watch that literally happen in real time. So, so powerful. The third thing I just want to add to this is you probably, as a coach, have many modalities at your disposal, many tools. You just forget when you're in the grip of fear, you can't access that stuff. So as you're doing your, watching this energy, then you can start focusing on 7-11 breathing, inhale for 7, exhale for 11. Do that a few times. Signal to the body that you are safe. You can do EFT tapping. There's so many tapping videos online. Bradley Yates is one of my favorites. Start journaling. I don't want you to journal straight away on, I am happy, I am safe, I am, and all of that, because your body's in the grip of fear. Start to just talk about, I feel this. You can journal that observer consciousness. It feels like this. It's doing this in my body. It's creating this sensation. Journal it out, and then you start to feel that peace. Another one that is very, very powerful. Oh, there's something else I just want to share with you that I did once, and it was such a shift. It was such a pattern interrupt. I started to fake laugh. Now, you start with a smile, and it can just feel like it's really forced, right? Just that fake smile. But that smile is doing something to your biochemistry, your physiology. It's signaling to the brain a different message. It's an incongruence, complete pattern interrupt. So you do this fake smile. While you're doing the fake smile, power pose. When you're power posing, research has shown that even just doing that power pose, making yourself big for 2 minutes, creates a hormonal shift in your body. So your cortisol drops, your testosterone increases. That's the hormone of strength and power. So, and the cortisol is your stress hormone, and that drops. So power posing, fake smiling, all of this starts to interrupt that pattern, and then just start forcing a fake laugh. And that again does something to your neurology, your physiology. It makes a change. So try that. And then the thing that is, again, something that is very, very powerful is to dialogue with that part of you that is scared. Remember, it's not the real you. The real you is back here, the witness consciousness. It's the container that is holding all of you, your presence. So dialogue with yourself. What part of you is scared? The part of you that believes what? What is that scared part of you trying to protect you from? Dialogue with it. What does that scared part of you need right now? As you sort of harness these tools, your coaching tools, it starts to create a release. But I would say, honestly, the most powerful thing is to really be in that seat of witness consciousness. This is the work that I do with my clients when they're having this sensation. It breaks every emotion that you are trying to avoid that is actually driving the bus. So the final thing I want to say here is, once you've done these 3 things, really gone into it, and you start to practice, you do start to release the fear more and more. It leaves your vibration. It's no longer a part of your identity or who you are. It really creates this overall identity shift. But in the moment that you are feeling that peace, you're feeling that relaxation. Relaxation is everything. Relaxation is the optimum creative state. When you are relaxed and your mind is quiet, you have access to infinite possibility. You are in the presence of I am consciousness, like the most creative state that you can be in. So when you are in that state, that's the time for conscious creation. That's when you can go into flooding your body with a feel good emotion that starts with visualizing. So you visualize the outcome of what it is you want when you're in that state of relaxation. Don't try and do it when you're in the grip of fear, but do it immediately after, when you've found that state of peace. Anchor in that peace. When you notice the mind is really quiet and you feel really relaxed, that's when then you just start to change the picture in your mind. Give yourself a mental movie of an outcome that you really, really want, that would make you laugh, that would bring you joy, that would help you to feel more abundant. And then as you do that, intensify it, make that visual bigger, make that mental movie more colorful, brighter. And the more you do that, you flood your system at a cellular level with that chemical cocktail of abundance, of joy, of success. You literally saturate yourself at a cellular level, and that creates a new identity. Do that over and over and over, and that will start to really shift how you feel. So I hope you found this helpful. Just when you're in the grip of fear, know that it's temporary. You're just passing through a growing pain. Immerse yourself in these tools, and yeah, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel if you want more of this information. I'm sending you so much love. And yeah, just